First time I set foot on this island, it took me back to my youth. This place is located in Beaufort County, and this is my hometown. It's where I grew up. I always tell people I've got Beaufort County salt water in my veins. The coolest thing, though, was being able to take part in visiting the sea islands that this area is known for. And my parents were friends with several families who owned islands, Pritchard's Island, Bay Point Island. We'd go out to Defusky Island as well. It was always a long boat ride to get out there, and I can remember making beds out of life preservers and sleeping on the way out. The food they bring out there was typically limited to just bacon and grits because we were going to catch or kill whatever else we were going to eat when we got out there. And these places were so pristine, but yet so rustic. They all had beach cabins of some sort, off-grid, no power. But when you got out there, it was like you never wanted to go back. Wildlife was absolutely amazing. Deer were all over the place. You could go out there and sustain yourself for as long as you wanted to. I always go back to those experiences. When you come here to Savage Island Plantation, you go back in time. But the great thing about it is you can get here in no time. When we would go out to Pritchard's Island, it would take us forever to get there. Here at Savage Island, you're literally 10 minutes from the moment you leave the dock in Bluffton to get here to the island. When you're here, you're able to get to places around this area that some people can't get to by car. The cool thing is that Bluffton's 10 minutes away. There's restaurants and shopping. Defusky Island is 10 to 15 minutes away. You can go out and experience the outdoor bars and restaurants that they've got over there. Hilton Head in Harbor Town is 10 minutes away. And then Palmetto Bluff is just across the river. The wonderful inn that they've got over there, the restaurants that they've got there. So when you're out here and you're here for a week and you've been hunting or fishing or doing whatever you're doing and you're kind of tired of the same old thing, it's not a big deal to jump in the boat and take a few minutes and run across the river to go get a bite to eat and a cold drink. Savage Island is a place that you can enjoy on a year-round basis. And the reason why is because it's got power to it. There's actually power lines coming to this island. The Island House, which is absolutely amazing. It's got over 2,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's one of those houses that you're inside, you open up the doors and go out to the giant wraparound screen porch, and it's just like the outdoors come into you. The island's got 3 duck impoundments. It's got 2 fishing ponds. It's got tremendous deer hunting, waterfowl hunting. I mean, you can be out there in the duck pond in the morning when the sun comes up and the widgeon and gadwall and teal are just pouring in to your decoys. It's just experiences like that you don't forget. The island for years was maintained as a quail plantation, so the habitat is perfect for that. And the current owner has been maintaining it and actually has even improved it to make it even better from a management perspective. The sunflowers in that field right now are just popping all over the place. And the dove hunts they've had out here are legendary. The birds pour in. The hunting out here is something that you just can't get anywhere else. And since this area has grown up and become more developed, it's just changed. But because Savage Island has got managed impoundments, it's such a unique opportunity to regain those experiences of yesteryear that most people have never had the opportunity to experience before. It's got a manager's house on site. There's a helicopter landing area for those who want to fly in. There's a great barn, equipment building, and a dog kennel that can be used, of course, for dogs or for storage. Wonderful dock, covered pier head. And then the other awesome thing is that you've got a waterfront manager's house back in Bluffton where the boat landing and the dock and the pier is over there too. This property is a turnkey opportunity. Everything that is on this property is going to stay with the property, ranging from, of course, the house and the improvements to the boats, the tractors. It's an opportunity that very, very, very rarely becomes available. Savage Island is comprised of about 400 acres of high ground. There's a total of about 1,800 acres encompassing the 5 main islands and about 18 hammock islands that make up the property. There's miles and miles of shoreline and a sea of marsh flats. The cool thing about that is you can get out in your boat, throw some lines out, troll for trout, and never lose sight of your property. The flats themselves offer amazing experience. When we'd go out to the islands to fish and hunt, do all that kind of fun stuff, some of those places had tremendous marsh flats, and on spring tides, the redfish would come up in there and tail. And most people these days, when they fish for redfish, of course they're in a flats boat and they're pulling along and looking for the fish. We used to stalk them on our own 2 feet. The tides would come in, we could go right off the property, ease out into the marsh, look for those fish tailing, sneak up on them, and if you were good enough, cast the line right in front of that drum. And there are very few people that have been able to experience that sort of thing. And Savage Island, with the marsh flats that has around it, the amount of land that's around it, you can step off the high ground into the flats and start stalking redfish without ever having to get in your boat. You can come out here and see thousands of birds. Egrets, blue herons, wood storks, eagles, roseate spoonbills, in addition to the waterfowl and doves. This is a place where you can go and spend hours walking and just soaking in nature and the different kinds of wildlife that this place has to offer. It's a place that when you're here, whether it's summertime, fall, winter, spring, there's always something to do. Whether it's having an oyster roast or cooking steaks, sitting around the fire pit, smoking cigars, having a scotch. Whether it's watching your kids go by on the boat on an inner tube or watching them catch their first fish out of the fish pond. It's things like that that make you never want to leave. This is a place that memories are made. This is a place that is so unique that no one else will ever come close to being able to compare to what you have. This is Savage Island.